And we're back here at the Stock Recap Show, and this is a special show here because the markets are live. I usually don't do this, but the markets are actually moving right now as we speak, okay? So an important disclaimer before I get into any of this financial information is that this is all for educational purposes only, okay? Trade at your own risk. Most traders lose money. So just know that going in and take it easy. This can be super stressful unless you have the knowledge and understanding of how and why the market works, okay? So let's jump right into the notable movers here, and this was from yesterday, so I'm just going to pull this over and see how they did. But actually, I'm just going to go right into the live markets because we're looking for the top movers right now. So let's go check out some top movers of the day. So Govx is up 49%, and this is the 5-minute chart, okay? If you wanted to go to the 15-minute chart, here's how it looks. So, like, I'm looking for a break of this $3 level, basically. And then, you know, if your stop was at 2 and you wanted to keep a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you'd be looking for $2 on the upside, so $5. I think that's a reasonable target. It depends, you know, what your time frame is, but I could definitely see this breaking out of this $3 level and maybe going to 5. So that's definitely on the radar as a top move. The next top mover is Amtd. You really do want to look for high relative volume and high volume, like over 1 million shares. But it also matters how many shares are outstanding, right? There's always a balance between the volume and the shares outstanding. If you're not familiar with shares outstanding, that's like the supply of shares that the company has created in the market. So just know that. And if you're looking for some of this functionality, these features, these extra lines here, or like being able to go to the 5-minute chart here, then definitely schedule a call on Friday Traders and we can share how to get access to that, okay? So the first big notable mover here is Govx, okay? So once again, these are the 5-minute candles here because I clicked on 5 here. And what we're looking for is candle over candle action, strong upward movements on heavy volume, which is exactly what this was in the morning, okay? So we just watched this happen. And now we're hoping for a break of the $3 level, but I'm just going to put in 50.25 because I got to make a decision here. All right, yeah, I mean, Amtd, this was up 30%. You know, it's not the big mover of the day because it's not Govx, but it is up 30%. This looks like a pullback to the VWAP here. It's got high volume, but pretty high outstanding shares too. So if you divide the volume by the outstanding shares, you get how much of the company turned over today. And it looks like about 10%, some quick math there. But it is up 30% on the week too. Let's look back at this 15-minute chart. So the 15-minute chart, it's not breaking out to highs. If you look at the Govx chart, it is breaking out to highs on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so already I don't like it as much. OEG, this was something we were watching. We made a lot of money on this last year because it ran to like 17. Really interesting story here, Orbital Energy Group. So they're probably gonna have blowout earnings in about 2 weeks. I mean, if they don't, I guess there's a real risk they could go bankrupt. But yeah, I'm expecting blowout earnings because the earnings growth has been really good. They have like $500 million backlog. It's a utility company, and it's just got beaten down recently. So that's the 15-minute chart. The 30-minute chart, it's breaking out on the 30-minute chart. Okay, so that's what we like to see. And they just passed that big energy bill with a bunch of renewable energy in it. And this company has basically transitioned over to renewable solutions. I think they departed from the oil and gas industry, which is why the market just crushed it, because everything was oil and gas for a while. But now that renewables back in the picture, you see some solar stocks heating up today, and some semiconductors here. Let's see. Oh, this is healthcare. I think there was a solar stock in here. So this, let me refresh the volume, because the volume doesn't automatically update here. So we've been tracking Govx, and it does appear to keep breaking out, which is a good sign. That would have been a good buy on the pullback here. This slight little pullback on this 5-minute to this 20-period moving average, and it's continuing to break higher. So we're tracking that as the number one. Number two is Amtd right now. And number three, we were calling OEG just because we think it's a sleeper. It is up big on heavy volume, and we're not crazy about any of these other ones. Like Ayala. This, I tried to trade this earlier this week, and I ended up losing money. So I bought on this breakout and this pullback here. I thought it was going to pull higher for sure, and then the bottom dropped out. Little did I know that all I needed to do was hold overnight, one more night, and then I would have made some money. But so I don't have a great taste in my mouth here, but I guess it is up 50% on the week. It meets all the checklists. It meets all the things on the checklist except for the 100 million in volume. So I'll just pull up our day trading checklists here, and it's pretty similar to our swing trading checklist, but there's some slight differences. You don't need to be up 30% on the day, just 20%. This gapped so much higher that it's definitely on this people's radar, but it's already at 20 million volume, and just looking at the volume, it kind of dropped off. Okay, so look, it's not trading much volume at all. So yeah, that's why we're kind of Amtd. Okay, so this is on the breakout here. It looks like it's back at the highs. Okay, so it's starting to look a little better, but remember, this is the 15-minute chart here, so not a complete breakout on the 15-minute chart. Would be nice to see a breakout of this 260 level, or even this 220 level. That's what I would be looking for on this stock. OEG. So it looked better 15 minutes ago. It was a bunch of green volume here, breakout. It's a breakout on the 15-minute chart. It's a breakout on the 30-minute chart. Starting to get to the early July levels, so that's a month ago. And obviously the daily chart looks horrific. It fell from 3 from 6 months ago, so it's down 80%. But if you look at their earnings have been great, good earnings growth. 143 million. They have a $500 million backlog, so I don't think at a risk of bankruptcy. Maybe a reverse split if earnings aren't good, which would suck. But I'm willing to take the risk at those valuation levels. There was another company that I was looking at, IFRX. So this isn't up that big on the day, but the chart looks good. It looks like it has just breaking out. And another feature that I like even more is the cash per share is at 2. So it's not much above the cash it has on hand. So the reason why this wasn't on this scanner is because it doesn't have the volume. But it is up 66% on the week, so clear breakout to the upside. We're tracking this. We're tracking this stock. The 5-minute looks a little choppy now. It's definitely not a day trading stock, more of a swing stock for the weekend. But yeah, super low volume today. And let's see the volume during the week. So got 1 million traded yesterday, 1 million traded the day before, 8 million on the 26th. Okay. So it broke out on Tuesday, and it continued to run higher, which is a nice sign. Govx, this is getting close to the top here. Still pretty good volume. 3 million, 2 million. That's wild. Amtd, this would be a good break of the 2 level here if it can do it. It's got some volume here. A million shares traded in each of these 5 minutes. So looks like it could be ramping up again, which is pretty exciting. Alrighty, so those are the 3 highlights, and definitely be tracking them next week. But that's it for the notable movers. Let's see, Govx. So this is up 53.39% now. Amtd is up 39.94. Okay, 39.94. And then OEG is up 12.57. 12.57. So usually I don't trade stocks under $1, but I did some research. I think it is. I don't know who this guy is, but I think this is a no-brainer. That's why I'm highlighting it, because normally we'd go to just the next biggest gainer that the next biggest gainer on the day that met all the criteria here. And this is a new mover. Amtd looks like it did break 2 there, so that's exciting. You know, this may be the next. The daily chart looks horrific, but so does Tough Built, and Tough Built's at 5 million market cap, so you probably don't want to touch that. Interesting. So the next biggest movers would be SNTI, and this daily chart looks choppy as anything. I don't know how you could pattern trade this or trend trade this, but you know, it looks a little more consistent on the 15-minute chart. You got this ascending triangle pattern here. There's this big scary pullback intraday from 270 to 220. So what's that, a 20% move? And now it's almost already back at the high. So a lot of money to be made on these spreads here. Govx, okay, so you got a breakout here of the top level, because it looks like previous high was, sorry, so you have a breakout by a penny. It's not a huge breakout here, but it could be big, you know. You just don't know. So Amtd, yeah, this doesn't look as good as Govx. All right, so that's the trade. That's the top mover of the day for sure. And yeah, let's look at some scary stocks while that's going. So we'll just go to the screeners and look at the biggest decliners here. So lottery.com. This looks atrocious, but I guess it's probably too small to get any shares at any other brokerages besides like Interactive Brokers or something. And we could also look at the biggest decliners on the week here. Ooh, brutal. Okay, so I'm actually going to look at the performance on the week too. And I'm going to go market cap over, let's go over 50 million. Ooh. I'm kind of ignoring the penny stocks for the same reason that they're just not as liquid. Occasionally I'll find stocks that I think are good value on this list, but yeah, it's usually, see, yeah, this is just, it's too low. Lottery.com. It's a gamble for sure. AVYA, this has heavy volume. So yeah, I guess I like to look at the news a little bit with these big moves, but I don't have time for that now, so I'm just going to close it out. NTRB, pretty low volume. HLMY, this is high relative volume. It's just breaking these lows here. This is like the last level of support here. Not to. I guess I shouldn't be laughing. There's a lot of people in this company that are just lost a lot of money, basically. This is the risk in the markets. You know, if you were an investor in this company, this is where your account would be down too. So it's important to understand the risks. This could happen at any time. Like yesterday, it actually looked pretty good. But then there's a big, probably a report came out. And look, it's got earnings growth, revenue growth. It's probably the percentage numbers if I had to guess, but I'm just going to go ahead, and this is a good example of a stock that's probably going lower. Same with this one. It's a bit above $1, but we'll see. This one too. This I wouldn't FFIE. I actually bought this and made money to the upside. But yeah, now it looks bad. But I don't think I would. I don't think I would bet against it either, just because of the move that it just pulled. It basically went from 240 to 770 in a couple weeks. So impressive move. I'm just gonna go close that out. No volume here. This looks bad too, but all right. So IFRX. So we got some top decliners here. It's down 6.27%. So this doesn't look very good either. Still. And then, so that's it for this live update here. And that concludes these weekly stock recaps for this week at least. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week on Monday. See you then.